Good morning, everybody. Good morning, and happy Saturday, April 16th, 2022. This is Sports Talks with Kamau and Felix. So, thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming out this morning. And I know you have a million other things that you can do, but you're spending time with us, and that is very, very heartfelt to me. And I just want to say thank you again. Click like, click share. Get everybody on the phone. Get them on the phone. Say, hey, come on, Felix, and I'm talking that crazy sports talk. We want to know your opinions as we go throughout the show. Don't be afraid to post your opinions in the comment section. I will comment to them, speak back to them as quickly as possible as the show allows. And so, click like, click share. Get on the phone, text somebody, call somebody, inbox somebody, tell them the show is going and it's going great, even though it's just getting started. We want to thank you for that. Don't forget to get this book, Gratefulness Journey Every Day by Mr. Marcus Holmes. That young man right there. Look at him right there. And as I was reading through the book, it said it was made in the USA in Capel, Texas, March 22nd, 2022. So just over a year ago, this book was made right here in the state of Texas where I am. And so that Detroit to Texas connection is just a little bit stronger because of that and the manufacturing of the book. Right now, we're going to move it forward with a topic of the week. And the topic of the week was, I'm sorry. Topic of the week was just that fast. I had it written down. That's the fun part about life. Sometimes things don't go as planned, so we got to quickly find it. But as I look for that, I'm got to keep my head up and continue to thank you for your support. The topic of the week is: was Grambling University wrong for allowing the coach to cut the entire team? I don't know if you guys are familiar with that story, but just about a week ago, it was announced that Grambling University let the entire volleyball team go. They just got a new coach within the last couple months, and they had some spring training and tryouts going on. And as it stands, the entire team is gone for this upcoming season, and she's going to be recruiting, bringing in people, young ladies out of the portal, as well as new girls out of high school, and to join the team. Should that have happened? My personal opinion as a coach is it's doable, and sometimes you have to make drastic changes. Was it morally wrong? No, because those girls don't have anywhere else to go and other opportunities for education. Because at the end of the day, they're still student athletes, and so I feel bad for those girls. But it's just speaks to the point that this is about winning. College and pro sports are about winning, and they brought that new coach in to win, and the coach wants to win, and she didn't feel like she could win with those girls, and because of that, they make that decision. Now, if I'm the athletic director and she makes that decision to get rid of all those girls, you better be winning. If you're going to get rid of all 16 girls, you better have a successful season. A successful season means you win your conference and you make a push to go to the NCAA's. So if you think that team was so bad and you can do so much better without them and bring in a whole new set, that new set better win. They better win. That would be my position. Am I against her doing that? Honestly, I'm not really against that. Mr. Felix, good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
We're talking about our topic of the week. And the topic of the week is: was Grambling State University wrong for allowing the coach to cut the entire existing volleyball team? My opinion of that is it's not wrong, but it was morally wrong for the girls because it doesn't give them an opportunity to go anywhere else because the portal's closed at this point. But this is about winning at this point, and the new coach is going to bring in girls off the portal and high school players for the team. But my only position, as I was saying, is that the coach better win. If you're going to get rid of 16 and bring in 16 new, that 16 new better be winning. And so if you're going to make that drastic of a decision, you can't say, "Oh, we're young." There are no excuses because you could be young and inexperienced with the other team. You better be good and winning with the new team. That's my only position. So I would think that time will tell on that one. What you think, sir?
Yeah, I agree with you. Absolutely. Absolutely. You better make sure that whatever you're going to take out, what you're replacing it with, better be better than what you had in there. Absolutely.
I think, and my definition of winning is winning the conference. I don't know if they're the SWAC or the MEAC, but I know it's Grambling State University, a historically black college university. You better
Right.
win. You better win the entire thing, and you better make a push for the NCAA's if you're going to make that drastic of a change. I do support her choice to be able to do so. As a former coach, the toughest thing I ever had to deal with was taking over a team after a coach that was beloved was there before me. Those girls were they held me to a standard I never was held before in my life. We didn't do it like this before. The old coach didn't do this. He didn't say this. So that was so I can understand her wanting to start over. But like I said, if we're
Right.
gonna do that, they got to make sure they're winning. You gotta win.
Right.
So that's how it is. Once again, thank you guys for coming out. Click like, click share. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Felix. Sometimes those internet gremlins want to be crazy, so they try to stop us, but we're not gonna let it stop us on this great Easter weekend. We are in day 2 from Jesus being taken away from us, and according to the Bible, he will be back tomorrow. Uh, and according to the biblical word. And so we back together again after 2 weeks, and we are moving forward. We're going to talk about college basketball. We're going to close that out, and now that college basketball's over, we're going to move in some baseball. Starting over the next couple of weeks, and a little bit of hockey, but definitely baseball. The Kansas Jayhawks win championship. They have a fierce comeback in the second half over North Carolina. One of the better games that they've had in a long, long, long time. And I'm really happy to see that game. I was excited that North Carolina jumped up in the first half. I'm like, wow, they up this many? Oh, wow. And it seemed like Kansas was kind of like, wow, they were kind of shocked because after Kansas scored the first 7 points and the coach was excited. UNC coach he could barely speak in the interview. That was one of the funniest interviews I've ever seen in my life. In-game interview. They need to stop doing that. I understand they want to get the ratings, but you can't interview the coach in the middle of the game, and because one of these days this coach is going to cut somebody out.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much.
Because you get excited like that. We want to thank Deion Robertson, Carmen Evans, and Andre Clay. Thank you, Carmen. Raheem Muhammad, Ulysses DeShazer, and Darren Smith for joining us this morning. We are talking about we're closing out our college season, talking about the win of Kansas coming back to beat Carolina. And what were your thoughts on the game, sir?
I wasn't worried at all. I knew what they was capable of doing. I told you, man. I know these things, man. I'm like a genie in a bottle, man. I know these. No, they was due for one. He won one since '08. 14 years later. Well, no, what's this? 2022? Yeah, 14 years later. He due for one. That Self, Bill Self, Hubert Davis. Like I told you, Mark Few might be the one that always got the talent, never get one. What's the guy name from Villanova? Jay Wright. That's where your premieres is coming now. Jawan can be there too if he can hold his aggression, but yeah, that's where your premieres is coming, man.
Well, we're gonna talk about Jawan a little bit later in the show, and some rumors that's surrounding him and what's going on with his life. I want to thank Bilal Muhammad. Thank you, sir, Bill Webster, and Eric Powell for joining us this morning. Thank you guys for joining us. Click like, click share, and let everybody else know that we're out here. If you have something that you want to speak about, a comment for us, let us know what it is, and we'll make sure we discuss it as we go through each topic. I'm gonna give you some coach speak. Talking about that game. Carolina definitely had the momentum going into the second half. Seemed like soon as the second half came out and they missed that first shot, they started hanging their heads because they had a pretty good set. They got a good wide open layup. The kid missed the layup, and it's almost like they just and they stopped playing to win. They started playing not to lose. And Kansas said, "Hey, we want to win this game, and then they started playing to win, and I think that was the difference down the stretch. And when they tied it up, was what 2 minutes left, and then they scored when when uh, when Kansas scored the go ahead bucket, and Carolina started panicking, jacking up the 3 pointers. Well, they could have did 2 for 1, a quick layup, and then foul somebody, put them on a free throw, extended the game. But they for some I don't know. They're a pretty senior laden team. I don't know why they panicked that way, but they did. But I want to congratulate Kansas Jayhawks once again, and also congratulate our winner of the tournament bracket, Mr. Antonio Chisholm. Do you know that young man? Did you work with him?
No. Maybe if I seen him,
Okay. Because I got to find him because we got to give him his reward. The winner, the second year winner, going to get a hat for his favorite college team. I'll make sure we get that out to him, and thank for being a part of our NCAA challenge. We could hope we only do the show every other week, so this is our first time opportunity to thank him. I know it's been almost 2 weeks since the game, so we know that we're a little bit behind on that part, but we want to make sure we make that up with him. And also, while we're here, congratulate the South Carolina Lady Gamecocks for winning the NCAA championship on the women's side, beating the beating UConn. That was the first time Coach Oriema went to the championship and lost in the championship. And it seemed like Carolina was a team of destiny, coached by my favorite and my wife in my head, Dawn Staley.
You better stop, man. You're gonna be divorced by the next show. You better stop.
Hey, I know better than I know. I said in my head. I ain't saying real life. I can't afford that.
Yeah, okay. You're surprised you knock on your door, then what?
Woo, that'd be a miracle. Just somebody put me on with a camera behind us to see how I'm gonna react. Now that would be a show. The young lady, seemed like they. I must not say. Excuse me. Seemed like they won that game. They led from start to finish, and smothering defense. The women's game is a little bit different. They play it, in my opinion, a lot better in terms of how it's structured. The men's game is 2 halves. The women's game is 4 quarters. I think that the men's game should go to a 4-quarter system. Much. They play 4 quarters in high school. You play 4 quarters in the pros. Why shouldn't they play 4 quarters in college? It's streamlined that all the way through. You say no. You think they should stick with the halves?
Leave it alone. Hey, that's the thing, man. We changing stuff for no reason. It's not broke. You don't need to fix it. Leave it 2 halves. Don't change it to 4 quarters. Just the women do it. Leave it 2 halves. It's been 2 halves. Because look at it this way. If you put it 4 quarters, would Michigan still would have beat Duke? No. Would Michigan still would have beat Carolina? No. Still would have got the same result. You just would have an extra hour of basketball. Leave it 2 halves.
Well, I'm talking about in terms of the structure. I kind of liken that for all sports. Like if the pros make a rule, I think it should be if it's feasible, if it's viable, make it a rule all the way down through different college, high school, little league, if it's feasible. Because some rules aren't. Like, of course, everybody can't do video and check video recordings and have chips in the ball for the first down and stuff like that. But I would like if it's something that's feasible, make it continuous through all sports.
You leave it like it. Okay, look at it this way. If the in college you only got to have 1 foot in college football to make a completion. If the NFL was like that, you know how many games would have got lost like that?
I agree. I think college should have 2 feet too. I think college should have 2 feet as well.
You just said it. It's different levels. So what you get away in Pee Wee, you're not going to get away with in JV. What you get away with in JV, you're not going to get away with in high school. What you get away with in high school, you're not going to get away with in college. That's why you just leave it alone. Okay, look at it this way. They had 4 quarters, right? Would Chris would have still had a timeout against Carolina? No, he still would have been the end result.
It's still the same number of timeouts.
Huh?
Well, honestly, we can't really answer that one because the timeout structure is still different in college. That's why I said structured all the way the same and through.
It would still been 4 quarters, right? Okay, so if the format would have been 4 quarters, how many more timeouts would they have had in that 4th quarter?
Well, I think college has 5, and I think the pros have 6. What is it? 4
No, no, no,
full
no,
and
no, no,
two
no,
two
no. You missing what
30.
I'm saying. You missing what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you said change the format to 4 quarters in college basketball,
Mm-hmm.
so if that fourth quarter would have came against Carolina, who's to say they still would have had a timeout or not? Would Chris would have still called a timeout if they had it? If it would have went 4 quarters, who would have said they would have been in the situation they would have been in 4 quarters? That's why you just leave it like it is.
Well, I'm not saying yeah, but I'm saying maybe moving forward. I know those games happen and those are done, but I would like to see the structure the same. But I think we have to
Okay, so
agree to disagree on
let's
this
let's
one.
do let's do the KU game that just happened. If it would have been 4 quarters, would KU would have ran them out the gym in the fourth quarter? Yeah,
No,
it wouldn't have been
because
about two
it's
fourth
still
quarters.
you're still looking at 20 minutes. Two third quarter 10 minutes, fourth quarter 10 minutes.
And then in
First
the second half, which right, and in the second half where they opened up that 7-0 run, that run would have been worse in the fourth quarter. It would have been a 14-0 run.
no, because the run came after the 10-minute mark of the fourth quarter. So it would have been, I mean, of the second half. So it just would have been in the fourth quarter.
Right. So instead of them winning 74-73, it would have been at whatever to that. It wouldn't have been 74-73. It would have been 84-73 or something like that. Because you got to figure, okay, with that fourth quarter, when my man went down, there was like a minute left. So that would have been
Mm-hmm.
what, a minute going into the fourth, or that would have been a minute into the fourth. See what I'm saying? So that run would have opened up more. They would have got blew out the water then. Think about it.
Well,
Look about it.
maybe not. I'm not saying it wouldn't happen, but I would still like to see the structure just a little bit more closely to what's happening in both games. Because at the end of the day, whether the NBA has a G League or a D League, it's still the junior league going to the pros. So let's structure things a little bit better, especially with the amount of money that everybody's making on those levels. So it's pretty much almost not quite, but kind of equal anyway. Really quickly, we want to thank Michael Strahan for joining us. I don't know if that's the Michael Strahan, but if it is, thank you for
That's
coming
right.
out, sir. We do really appreciate you taking your time to come see us this morning. That's what say Michael Strahan, but if it's him, I really appreciate you, sir, and thank you for joining us. We are talking about we're wrapping up our college basketball segment for the year. We're going to find Antonio Chisholm and get him his hat, and we want to thank you everybody for coming out. Click like, click share. Make sure you get this book, Gratefulness Journey Every Day, by Mr. Marcus Holmes, that young man right there. He's the man behind the magic. He's the whiz, and he lives in Oz, and he makes sure everything is going smooth for us this morning. And we're going to move forward as we are heading into the NFL. Before we go any further, we want to make sure we send condolences to the Haskins family for the loss of Mr. Dwayne Haskins just this past week. Had an accident down in Florida, and this young man was a good athlete and played Ohio State, Washington, and was currently with the Steelers. Was training for the upcoming season, and with a great upside for things for his life. So we just want to say rest in peace to him. We're going to talk a little bit more about that situation in Super Sports News. But the USFL is back. Are you excited, sir?
I don't really too. I don't remember too much about the USFL. All I remember, Steve Young came out of there, right? If I'm mistaken.
Say it again.
I said Steve Young played in that league, right?
Yep, Steve Young
That's right.
played in
Okay.
the
Yeah,
USFL.
yeah, all I remember.
I think he played for Tampa.
Okay. Yeah, that's
But I'm
all I
gonna tell you why I love the USFL, because that's the only time a professional team in the state of Michigan won a football championship was the Michigan Panthers,
you go.
and they are back. So they're back, and they're coached by the former coach from the Tennessee Titans. He's coaching them now, and so honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I really am excited about the USFL. I was a huge fan of them. They a lot of great athletes came from the USFL. The NFL came along and cherry picked those teams and took those guys out. Let's see, uh, uh, Billy Sims signed a contract with them and got himself in a lot of trouble, and and was in court. So a lot of those feelings are still kind of raw to a lot of the owners of the NFL and their families, because a lot of teams lost players that went to the USFL, and then that's how and then let you know there was an antitrust lawsuit, and of course the NFL wins because their lawyers are much higher paid and bigger and stronger, and they figured out the win, and they lost what they owed the USFL $7 or something like that. They had to pay them at the end of the day. That's the only thing they had to pay. So, but I'm glad that they're back. And of course, if it's any type of professional football, the NFL is going to have something to do with it. So in a lot of ways, that's the junior league for the NFL. So, but I am glad that it's back. Birmingham, smaller leagues, smaller teams, smaller market teams have teams, and that to me, that's really exciting to see for people out there. And let's see here, the draft. The draft is April 28th. And it is, 12 days from now, Thursday to Saturday. The draft will be concluding once we get back on the air again on the 30th. And they're talking about homegrown talent Aiden Hutchinson being the number 1 pick. What do you think about that, sir?
Man, we touched on this before, man. I don't know, man. I ain't seen that. Man, yeah, he bought out against Ohio State. Yeah, he bought out against Iowa, but he met them guys from Georgia. He didn't have a time. That's what I'm saying. I remember you from the last game you played. In your last game, like, I would trade the pick. I would not. Because even if you lost to us, what we gonna do? No.
Now, if he falls on number 2, you know they're gonna take him. You know the Lions are gonna take him.
But that's what I'm saying. Taking for what? Every defensive good player we had, whatever we done to it, destroy him. Think about it.
Now,
yeah, Super Bowl. Soon as Sue could get the first time to get that up out of here, he got up out of here. Now, he got good for our coach. That's what we need. That's the thing, man. We got to. Okay. The draft is the best player ever. That's how we ended up with Megatron. You know what I'm saying? That was the best player ever. That's how we ended up with Bear. That's Bear. Drafted Andre Ware.
Oh my God! I was actually happy they drafted Andre Ware, because we were using that system at the time. He didn't work out, but he came out of Houston playing that the run and shoot.
Wayne Fox was caught in between a rock and a hard place. 1 week was Andre Ware. The next week it was what was the other guy name? Was it not when Charlie Batch? It was before Charlie Batch. It was Andre Ware, Rodney P. Or it was Rodney P. Andre Ware. What did you draft him for? That's what I'm saying. If you draft, you draft. If Aiden Hutchinson falls to us, what are you gonna do with it?
Well, my feelings on Aiden Hutchinson is he a good player? I'm sorry, to step over you, sir. I know that Andre.
I wasn't impressed. Sorry.
You wouldn't draft him at number 1. I would not draft him at number 1 either. I'm not saying he's a bad player. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I am saying is that is his talent well enough to change it? You draft a number 1 player, you're bringing him in to change the culture. You're bringing him in to either make you so much better or take you over the top. And I don't think he's that type of player. Will he have a good NFL career? Yes, he will. But will he have that standout number 1 pick career? I don't think so. I would hate to have him go number 1 and 7, 8, 9, 10 years down the line, they give him the bust status. I would hate that for that to happen to him, because the expectations at the overall number 1 and for what his abilities are don't match, in my opinion. He got a lot of good press after the Ohio State game, and he played very, very well against Michigan State. And in my opinion, that forced sack and fumble in the first quarter probably should not have been overturned. But that's neither here nor there, because that was a great play that he made. Can he do that at the next level? Probably not so much not as prolifically as he did it in college. Will he be a solid player in the pros? Yes, he will. But is he really number one talent? I don't think so. And there's a lot of talent that's out there. If he goes like 6 or 7 somewhere, to me that's doable. But at the same time, a lot of times those are smoke tricks, smoke signals that the team send out. Oh, we're going to draft him, knowing that they may not be drafting that guy. They're saying that they're talking about Kenny Pickett is going to be interviewing with the Lions this week. So I'm excited about that. Can he throw the ball? Can he spin? Can he spin it? Can he lead a team? Yes. Is he for the Lions' future? Who knows? Because at this point, we do know that Jared Goff is not a long-term fix, and he knows that he's a stopgap. He's a maybe 2-3 year guy because this will be his second year with the Lions, and so we'll see what happens on that side. Hopefully it'll turn out that the Lions make a pick that's worthy of being picked for the Lions, which I say that tongue in cheek because we've made some outrageous picks in the past and haven't done very much with them. Last week's Penei Sewell was a good pick for the Lions, and he started to pan out more towards the end of the season in terms of his abilities. He had the rookie eyes in the beginning, which most of them do. But I think he's a solid number one pick for us, and it's going to be a good player for us over the years. So let's hope they do make another good number one pick this year as well. All right, moving on. Don't forget to click like, click share. Thank you guys for joining us this morning. If you guys have a comment about anything that we talk about, please put it in the comment section. We'll make sure that we say something about it. Get on the phone. Get somebody DM, slide in the DM and say, Kamau and Felix is on the internet again, talking about sports, and they having a good time as always. And we want you to come and join us and have a good time as well. Moving forward, we're going to talk about the playoffs. And the playoffs are set now. Atlanta and Brooklyn won their playoff games in the East, and in the West, New Orleans and Minnesota won their games, and they played. Before I was a little upset to hear people complaining about how much those teams were celebrating that they won their playing games. Why wouldn't they celebrate? Why wouldn't you be excited about the fact that you actually going to the actual playoffs? Of course, it's a playoff of sort, being in the playing games, but why not be happy? You get an extra. You get to play some more. You're not going to be on the golf course. You get an extra check. You get to go have some more fun with your family, that was your team at the time. Oh, that bothered me to hear people complain about how they're celebrate. You're supposed to celebrate. You're supposed to go out and work hard and celebrate the things you do in life. So that's my quick plug on that. We got Miami, Atlanta. Who you like in that series, sir?
Heat.
You have the Heat in Atlanta. That's the 1-8. Do you got the 1-8? You like the Heat?
I like the Heat.
All right. We got Boston and Brooklyn. Boston is the 2 seed. You said that looking like an upset.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, Kyrie. Okay, at the end of the day, if you want matchup for matchup, KD is gonna have to check KD, just like Tatum gonna have to check KD. The downplay is Kyrie don't play no D, man. You're gonna have to play D this series. You're gonna have to either guard Marcus Smart, or you're gonna have to guard Jalen Brown. You're gonna at one point. So one of these series, you're gonna have to play D. One of these games, you don't play D, man. He can't check his own bag. So therefore, that's the upgrade. Now, the only thing is Steve is a player's coach, and the Celtics coach is a player's coach. They both are NBA champions. My man won with the Spurs. Steve has won the NBA championship. Okay. My man ain't gonna know that basketball is a game of runs. X's and O's. The only difference is when it comes to playoffs, the game slows down. It's gonna come to them key intangibles. Who got the better to go? You know what I'm saying? The good thing is KD can get his own shot off the dribble, whatever. What role player is gonna show up for New York? I mean, for New Jersey, is it gonna be Bruce Bowen or But Boston, is it going to be Marcus Smart or is it going to be Al Horford? Is somebody got to step up and emerge to be,
Right.
take a forefront. But the key going to come with that point guard matchup because he going to have to play D. You're going to have to play D at some point. And that's where it's going to come out. Tatum going to get his. Jaylen Brown going to get his. JD going to get his. Kyrie going to get his. The point is, you going to have to play D. Jaylen Brown plays D. Marcus Smart plays D. You don't play D.
Can Simmons be a factor in this series?
Yo,
Can Ben Simmons be a factor in the series?
no, because he trash. And it's going to come out, he trash.
I wouldn't say that Ben Simmons is trash. I don't think that right now he's in the rhythm. I wouldn't say mindset, but he hasn't played enough to be a part of the rhythm of the team. So playing him any kind of extended kind of minutes may be more detrimental than good.
You haven't picked up a ball in a year and a half. It's going to all come down now to conditioning. You don't have no conditioning. Well, how you got conditioning? Practice. That ain't conditioning.
Well, we talked about before how he was playing in the basement of Philly while the team was playing upstairs. So he's still playing. He just hasn't been in any quality games.
Okay. This is what I'm saying. How many minutes do you get?
No more than 12 to 15 minutes a game. Put spot here, spot there.
15 minutes a game. Is that 15 minutes the whole game or 15 minutes a quarter?
The game. I'm spotting them here, spotting them there.
So a basketball game, NBA basketball game, on about 2.5 hours. You gonna get 15 minutes out of 2.5 hours.
I'm talking about court time, yeah. I'm talking like, spell somebody for a couple minutes, spell somebody a couple minutes here. But I wouldn't want to plan any kind of extended minutes.
What are you expecting to get out of him?
I'm expecting him to make a hopefully some kind of a contribution. It won't be a great contribution, in my opinion, but just something where he can be a part of the team, and you never know. It could turn into something great, but to bring him in, you can't just sit him for now. I'm trying to see what I can get out of him, honestly.
Okay, so you don't put him out there with KD, Kawhi. You put him out there with KD, Kawhi, and Bruce Bowen. So you're gonna use him as a decoy because you're not really gonna walk this thing.
I'm putting him on second. I'm putting him with the second group, and maybe he can he can D up Tatum every now and then. He can put some good defense on Tatum.
You're not gonna. What I'm trying to get you to understand is you're not drawing up no sets for this guy. You're using him as a decoy.
No, we're not putting the ball in his hand. We're gonna put him on defense. And you get some rebounds, you get some putbacks. We're not drawing up no plays for you. he hasn't been a part of the team enough to earn that type of love.
30 easy. He gonna get him off moves.
If anybody can check either one of them, it's gonna have to be Ben Simmons because KD nor Kyrie can keep up with their big two defensively, and they're both of them guards. So if anybody gonna play any kind of a good defense and maybe get a stop or two here and there, it's gonna have to be Ben Simmons.
Okay, here's another thing. Why don't you just shut him down? Why would you leave it? If it's not broke, don't try to fix it. They're not broke. Leave him on the bench. He's a distraction. Leave him on the bench. Don't even play him. He would right now he's staying street clothes. What? You don't need him. You're really fine without it. What do you need him for?
Well, I can tell you this much: his teammates love him, and teammates want him out there. So I'm really not disagreeing with you. If anything, I'm more playing devil's advocate than anything. But I don't disagree with you. But I can just listen to them talk about him in the interviews. They like him a lot, and they really want him out there.
I like him in practice. Of course, I like him in practice. He ain't got the trenches yet.
Practice. We talk about practice.
I like him in the 3-man week. I like him in the 5-on-5 pickup. Of course. Ain't no whistle there, bro. You call your own foul in an NBA game. It's championship or bust. See him on the bench. I don't want him out there with you.
I believe me. I understand what you're saying. If anything, I'm giving you devil's advocate. Really quickly, Dan Smith, Talking about Patrick was fined. Patrick, I know you're talking about from Minnesota. He got fined for a celebration. Yeah, he was leading one of the celebrations, but I didn't hear about that. But I agree he was going a little bit further in the celebration. Milwaukee, Chicago. Who you got there, sir?
Milwaukee beat them in 6.
Okay. Philly, Toronto.
Philly beat them in 6.
Okay. So in the East we got. So I agree with you, Miami. So are we going with Boston? Boston or Brooklyn in that series?
No, it's gonna be Milwaukee.
No, I'm doing a recap. So we got Miami over Atlanta, Boston or Brooklyn.
I'm being honest. I don't know that Boston. They can upset them, man. So, and I like it, but I don't know. They're coming back to me on that one.
Come back. Okay. All right. Milwaukee, Chicago. We got Milwaukee, and Philly, Toronto. We got Philly. All right. So we're gonna come back. We're gonna come back to that one at the end, and we're gonna see where we at. Because I'm telling you, I'm looking at Brooklyn to win that series. That's me. I see Brooklyn winning that series. All right, Phoenix and New Orleans. They won last night. They make it in. New Orleans did. So they got the big boy out there playing some minutes. He been out all season, so the big boy's back. So you say you like Phoenix?
Phoenix and 5.
Okay. We got Memphis and Minnesota.
Memphis is 6.
Memphis is 6. Okay. We got Golden State and Denver.
5. Golden State 5.
Golden State 5. I actually like a little bit of an upset there. I could see Denver winning that series, quite honestly. And honestly, for some reason, because Golden State they're not playing as consistent as they were in the beginning of the year. They're kind of on a bit of a roller coaster. Even Denver at the 6th seed, they've been consistent all season. So I'm gonna pick Denver in that one. Dallas, Utah. I like that. I like Denver over. I like Denver. If I'm in Vegas, I'm putting 20 straight up to win on Denver.
You must have woke up late, man. It's out of here. It's about ratings. It's about what you want to see. You don't have no playmaker over there without Jamal Murray. And no playmaker. Who you gonna go to Aaron Gordon? Will Barton.
I like solid team basketball over a team who can shoot themselves in or out of a game.
Today, because Steph is going to hamper his foot, they'll get that. They'll shock and win today's game. But then after that, it's over.
All right. 6. All right. So we got a difference of opinion on that one. And Dallas and Utah.
You know what? If Utah, I would say Utah 5 because Luka not playing the first one.
Yep.
The second one.
My point exactly. Yeah, I agree.
If Utah don't beat them, regardless if Luka plays or not, like you say, my man needs to take his jersey and cut it in half. That Mitchell kid. But then they not good either. They suck, dude.
To my Utah?
You got Mitchell and you got Rudy Gobert. That's it. The other guy, Clarkson, garbage. What's the other guy? Number 23, garbage. Look, you got Tito Jackson, you got Michael Jackson, a bunch of Tito Jacksons. That's what you got. You're going nowhere. This is calling John. And that's reality.
I'm picking Utah because Luka has been down. If Luka's playing, I'm picking Dallas. But as of right now, Luka has been out. So that's why I got to go with Utah.
That's what I'm saying. I would say Utah. But I'm saying if Utah does not get without Luka, even if
I don't see them going past the second round.
This is the first time they got out the first round. So then what's going to happen next round? They don't go.
I don't see Utah going out to get out the second round. That's for sure. Really quickly, Darren Smith said he's going with Boston in that matchup, and that 2-7 matchup. He's picking Boston. Darren Smith. He's a loyal show person. He comes in and watches us pretty faithfully. We want to thank Dan for that. So we want to make sure we get his input. All right, Vogel fired. They put the fork in his back. they took he found out he was being fired on his on Twitter. Somebody on Twitter leaked it that he was getting fired, and the Lakers hadn't even told him yet. Good morning, Ms. Carmen. Thank you for that. Twitter people, the Twitter people, they'll let you know anything. You got all different types of community groups in Twitter basketball, just like all the rest of them. They tough, and they let Frank Vogel was told the day before via post. No one had even talked to him yet, but now they're talking about the new coaches who might coach the Lakers. They're saying Juwan Howard is in the mix to leave the University of Michigan and go out to LA because he has a strong relationship with LeBron from Miami and in Cleveland. I think they were together in Cleveland as well. And also looking at Rondo being a player coach, coming out and coming to join the Lakers next season. I don't like either one of those as a truism. I think those are good talking points for sports talk, but in reality, I like Juwan Howard as a coach. I think that it may be a better career move for him in terms of, and I love him at Michigan. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be a Michigan hater because I'm a state guy. Honestly, what he's done is shed a terrible light on the university twice in the last 2 years. So he's honestly, he's lucky to be there. So for him to make that lateral move, say it again, sir.
He said he wanted to stay at Michigan and coach his son. He said he's not. You can take his name off the list.
His son they won't get rid of his son, whoever the next coach is. They take care of each other. But he had a year coaching his son. I get it, but it might be it might at the end of the day, it better be a better move for him to go to LA, honestly. He'll be an outstanding coach wherever he is, whether it's LA or whether it's he stays at Michigan. I can see that side of it in terms of Juwan Howard going to Michigan. But Rondo as a player coach, he's pretty much a coach now, honestly, and how he works with his teams when he's with the teams. So I can see that. But in terms of actually giving him the title of player coach, I don't know. I don't know about that. Who was the last player coach? Was it Casey Jones? How many years ago was that? That was back in the early 80s, 70s, when he was in Boston. I think he was the last player coach. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I want to see, honestly, at this point in LeBron's career. You're breaking up, sir. Say it again.
With the cat that got into it with Iris when he coached the business.
Tawana Lue?
No. I can't think of the guy's name. That was the last player coach that I can remember. He coached the business. When we had Iris.
Coached the Pistons? He was a player coach. We had a player coach for the Pistons?
Yeah, he was a player for the Pistons. He coached the Pistons. Just like Chauncey. Well, last player coach would actually be Chauncey. Because Chauncey Billups.
Yeah, I apologize, but I didn't even know that.
I can't think of the guy's name. He got into it with Iverson because Iverson didn't come to practice. They had practice on Thanksgiving, and Iverson didn't show up.
Oh, okay.
I can't. Joe Dumars.
I'm going to have to look that up after the show. Joe was still a GM.
Huh?
Joe was still a GM.
I can't think of the guy's name. It'll come to me too. Watch it come to me when the show is over. I can't think of his name. He played for us. Then Joe Dumars gave him the job. Him and Iverson got into it. He had scheduled a Thanksgiving Day practice. Iverson didn't show up. I can't think of the guy's name. It's on the tip of my tongue too. But yeah, that was. But then if you say the last player coach, it would be Chauncey. Because he was an NBA player. He coaches Portland.
Okay. All right. Well, I stand corrected.
Okay. Technically, it's a couple of, because you could say Billups. You could say player coach Steve Nash. You could say player coach, the coach for the Celtics. I can't remember his name. So it's a couple. That's player coaches. Jason Kidd. player coach. Ty Lue, player coach.
No. I'm talking about guys who are currently still playing in the NBA and coach at the same time. That's what I mean by player coach. Because that's what they talking about. Where's John Rondo doing?
You got me there. I don't know who that.
Because the last one I can think of was Casey Jones.
Who?
Casey Jones.
Oh, okay.
That's the last one I can think of. So I don't know about that situation. My point was, I think at this point in LeBron's career, he needs an actual established coach to come in there and coach. LeBron, I know we all know LeBron got the input.
Maybe it's not the coach. Maybe it's LeBron.
Do you think LeBron should be the coach?
No, what I'm saying is, maybe it's not the coach. Maybe it's LeBron is the problem.
Yeah, at this point in his career, yeah, because he pretty much put this team together. He chose what's the name over DeMar DeRozan, and I never would have did that. And then we're gonna get to that. That's part of our next segment. That's part of our next segment. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but I want to say that before we move into stupid sports news, I do want to say if the Lakers whoever Lakers bring in as coach, it needs to be an established coach. Go ahead and get old boy at ABC.
So the definition of an established coach.
Somebody who's in the league, somebody who's been in some tough games. I'm saying somebody who's won a championship, somebody who is respected as an actual coach. Go ahead. What's old boy that played for the Knicks, that coached the Golden State, that's an ABC commentator? I would say that should be him in. That would be my guess. Somebody who's actually going to say, hey, this is basketball. We're going to play basketball. Of course, he's going to listen. He's going to listen to LeBron. He'd be stupid not to, but everybody knows he's the coach. What's the guy's name? He always say, oh, mama, here come that man. What's his name? That coach that does commentate for ABC. Mark Jackson. That would be my guess. They need a coach. I'm not saying like Mark Jackson, but an established coach. He's an established coach. He's been commentating for a little while, but he's still the architect of the Golden State Warriors. His architecture and what they're doing now is what he established 10 some years ago, and it's still working.
Steve Kerr just got the credit for what Mark Jackson established.
Yes, definitely. Just like Switzer got the credit for what what's the name did. Say it again.
Phil Jackson got the credit for what Doug Collins did in Chicago.
No, no, because they hated Phil Collins. It was the culture change, a little bit more of a culture change for Phil than what Collins did. I do have to give Collins some credit. I'm not saying I'm not totally taking it all away, but the mindset switch that Phil brought is what made a change. Same as when he went to LA. It was a mindset switch as the coach before that. All right. Right now we got to move to our next segment. We're looking I just call it like I see it. We're going to make a quick pause for the cause as we move into stupid sports news. All right, moving into stupid sports news. Once again, we want to thank you guys for coming out. Click like, click share, and we're rounding out the last 10 minutes of the show. And so we want to thank everybody who is here, who has been here, and let somebody know that we're here so we can continue to grow our numbers. Our numbers are growing on the site. Thank you for those who are accepting all the invitations that I keep sending out once a week to everybody that I know and everybody that I don't know. First one is the statement, keep that same energy, said by whom? One, LeBron James at the beginning of the season when he brought in Russell Westbrook, and then he brought in Carmelo. Said, everybody out there talking about my team and my squad, keep that same energy at the end of the season. Well, that statement didn't age very well, and now that they're out of the playoffs, keep that same energy is not a good thing at this point. We were just talking about bringing in an established coach for them, getting DeMar DeRozan as opposed to getting Russell Westbrook. And right now they're sitting at home in Cabo and everywhere else around the world, getting a little break. And my first question about that is, what are they going to do about Westbrook?
What are they gonna do about who?
Westbrook.
You can't trade it. You gotta go with the punch. You gotta deal with that. But at the end of the day, look, at the end of the day, basketball is a brotherhood, right? Basketball is what you make of it, right? These are professional athletes, right? Okay, so at the end of the day, you LeBron illustrated this, right? They're following you. So when you quit, they quit. That's all it did. That's how Frank got fired. He quit, so they quit. I'm not going to. They like, once I always said this. I played basketball. I've been playing basketball since I was 12 years old, organized basketball. I'm not a gopher. In other words, I'm not about to go out here and give you 110%. And this so-called superstars only give a 50. How many times have they went down there and LeBron ain't even crossed half yet? The opposing team misses and they throw the ball down to LeBron. He would hate me because I would never throw it down. You gonna come to play half. But when he quits, they quit. If you go back and look at this one particular game. The game when Matt Stafford and Kelly Stafford was sitting front row.
I remember.
The game he put up 50. LeBron didn't start playing until they got back into the game. They were getting blew up that whole game. Go back and look. He didn't start playing until the game got cut down. The league got cut down to 4. That's when Anthem started looking and was like, I'm not going to be a gopher no more. Stop being a gopher.
I remember.
So, at the end of the day, it's his fault. Who else's fault it is? Rob Pelinka. Who else's fault it is? Genie Buzz. Who else's fault it is? Listen to the Kirk Rambis and Karen Rambis. Who are they? Exactly. At the end of the day, you're the owner, Jimmy Bus. At the end of the day, Rob Pelinka works for you. At the end of the day, LeBron James is employed by you. Start making the decisions or get out of the basketball operation.
I agree. That's right. I said I can't do this no more.
You don't have no drive. You're nothing. Like your dad. Your dad said, I can't pay Shaq and Kobe. So I'm going to build around Shaq. I'm going to build around Kobe and let Shaq go elsewhere unless Shaq wants to take less money. Shaq didn't want to take less money. Why? What is happening? Kobe said it. We got one more ring to Shaq. They got one more parade more than with Shaq. Now, if Shaq would have put his ego aside, look how many championships they could have kept winning. Nobody wouldn't have beat them. But he even said it himself, his ego. At the end of his Big Daddy Diesel team. Big Daddy Diesel. You got one more championship. Because you went to Miami. Okay. Yep. Like Charles Barkley said, you rode Dwayne Wade's coattail, whatever. At the end of the day, all of this, it blames on LeBron. Frank Vogel, who took the beef of it because he's the coach. You can only get out of your players what you instruct to get out of your players. But if your main catalyst is saying, hey, man, I ain't going to play no more, man. Oh, you know what I'm saying? You sat out because your ankle. Stop, dog. You're a prima donna. I'm not going to even go back on what I said. I was a Laker. I was all in. I'd be glad when he retired. For real. For real. I'd be glad. It's too much diva with this guy. Go sit down. You're never going to catch Mike. You're never in the consideration with Mike. Go sit down, dude. Like, for real, I'd be glad when he sit down. Like,
yeah.
Still, you probably punch me in my face. Like, man, you try. Like, go sit down, dude. Like, for real.
See, but a lot of those players won't say that to LeBron. A lot of them won't do that. That's just not going to happen. All right. Darren Smith that say that they should trade Russell Westbrook. The problem is nobody wants Russell Westbrook anymore. Nobody wants him, and he's worth too much money. He's owed too much money, I should say. At the end of the day, they're going to have to cut him and eat that salary. That's what's going to have to happen, and probably have to pay the luxury tax to bring somebody else in. That's what's going to have to happen.
But then this is the thing. This is the thing. You trade. Let's say like we said, you trading. Let's say you was to trade him for Buddy Hield. Let's just use him because he traded him right now for Buddy Hield. What make you think you didn't want to play with LeBron?
Right.
Because when you had the chance to get me, you didn't get me. So what make you think I want to play with you now? LeBron is like that kid that you grew up with that be like, my mama said I can't have no more company, but it's a game that you want out. So now I come to the door, I can't come in. That's what you
Right.
want. If you don't want to play with my toys, you gotta go home. Okay, well, I'm going home. All right, I'll be so glad when he retired. Like, leave out for real. Leave out.
I think he should retire, honestly. I agree with you. I know he's waiting on Bronny, but that ain't going to happen. All right. Well, let's move forward really quickly. We got Adam Schefter's comments after the death of Dwayne Haskins. He posted one Twitter where he criticized, well, a part of the tweet was a slight criticism of his career, which we took down quickly and rewrote everything. What reason why I won't put that in Super Sports News is this is sort of like he's done stuff like this more than once, where I think in a lot of ways Adam Schefter goes unchecked in a lot of things that he does, and he makes a lot of money for ESPN. Seems like somebody needs to be reading his tweets before he sent them out, like somebody else's. And it was very, very sad that he did that. Next thing, really quickly, because we're running short, Cardinals quarterback situation. Kyler Murray is about 2 steps from leaving again. He said he doesn't want to play unless they give him a new contract. They just went through a whole thing where he scrubbed his Twitter page of everything from the Cardinals, his IG page, and then they had a love and makeup session. We love each other, and now he said, "I'm not going out unless you pay me." Now, it's to me, this seems like what the guy, Zeke from Dallas did a couple years ago, which was a good thing for Zeke because he's a shell of himself on the football field. So I would hope that they would work this out in the time between now. We got about 6 weeks or so, 6 or 7 weeks before the season starts for this go. Tell me what you think about that, sir.
I mean, if he do his money, pay him. But I mean, not really, because what have you done? That went 13-3, something like that. Yeah, I was in the playoffs.
I guess he's seeing that what's his name got his money. Green Bay player. There's another quarterback who just got somebody they announced last night. He said he want to get his money, but he still has 2 years left on his rookie deal. So at the end of the day, he really don't have that much leg of a stand on.
People, Aaron Rodgers messed stuff up because Green Bay, but he twisted their arm, and they paid him, and then you lost Devontae Adams. So everybody's going to say, well, then Derek Carr, that's probably a quarterback you're talking about who just got
Derek Carr.
So everybody's going to start saying, well, I'm better than Derek Carr. I should get paid based on what?
Mm-hmm. Derek Carr been to the playoffs the last 3 out of the 5 years.
So, like I said, it's crazy.
With less talent, Derek Carr's been to the playoffs 3 of the last 5 years. So that's why I would pay him. All right, it's time for us to get out of here. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. Our next show is April 30th. Really, really quickly, sir, do you have your Easter speech ready for tomorrow?
Who?
Your Easter speech.
Oh, yeah, man. It's the time of joy for our people, girls and boys. Oh, your man birthday tomorrow.
Who birthday?
The man behind the scene, his birthday tomorrow.
Marcus' birthday tomorrow?
Man, what type of see? That's why he should be fired. He don't even know it's your birthday tomorrow. See?
Hold on. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Marcus.
He know it's his birthday, man. What you doing?
I can barely remember my own name every other day. So me not remember his birthday is not a bad thing.
Next week for Sports Talk with Felix. He'll come out because he won't be there.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Hope everybody has a great Easter weekend. We do appreciate you guys coming out and joining us. Have a great, great day.